way you can pay me. I am the pain, and I know you can't tame me. Look over your shoulder, ready to run like a Cleveland bitch from a smoking gun. I am the game, and I make the rules. So move on out, you can die like a fool. Trying to figure out what my move's gonna be. Come on over, sucker, why don't you ask me? Don't you forget there's a price you can pay. Cause I am the game and I want to play. And how you play it, it's all about control. And if you can take it, it's all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about the pain. Who's gonna make it? I am the game. You don't wanna play me. I am control. There's no way you can shake me. I am your debt and you know you can't pay me. I am your pain and I know you can't tame me. Play the game, you're gonna be the same. You're gonna change your name, you're gonna die in flames. Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. Are we on, Ken?
We must be. We're on the TV there.
All right. I don't hear anything in my back feed, though. I don't even hear you.
You
Maybe
should.
it's not plugged in.
I'm plugged in.
It's not turned up.
I hear you, though, so it must be.
turned up.
I'm not turned up.
You're not turned up.
Technical difficulties. Radio Rookie back on the air on this Wednesday.
This is definitely a throwback.
This is a throwback. As a matter of fact, this is like crazy throwback.
This is back to the beginning.
Because I'm a call in now on a Wednesday for super sub Tina Gorman from way back when.
Yeah.
And actually, it was such a way back thing. You guys thought I was Bill Parks for a minute. I was like ghosting you guys because you're calling me. But no, I'm gonna be here.
As usual, you blow in at 5 minutes before.
Well, I would give you a line like I was busy this morning doing some early morning show prep, but I totally know you would not believe that, so I won't even try that one.
We're like, well, maybe work was calling or something.
Well,
but then it's not necessarily a 24. Well, it is and it isn't, but 24/7 job you have now. But
No, it wasn't that
not like
either.
before.
No, more important. I was doing more important things like getting my Dunkin' Donuts fix on here. So.
Yeah, I did that. Now I have a more convenient stop that's
Oh, you do? You
on
have
the
a
same
brand
side
new
of the
one.
road
Yeah.
instead of crossing the street.
Right. So that went live. Huh? When did that open up finally?
A couple months ago.
Yeah, that looks
Before I
pretty
left.
sweet. Yeah.
Before I left, that's been open.
But more importantly, Pete, I must ask, because I don't get on the north side all that often, is the drive-through weed dispensary open?
No, that's still in progress.
Oh, okay. Well, that's breaking news, so you let me know. Send me a
Drive-through dispensary.
Send me a text alert when that opens up.
Good Lord. There's a lot of stuff going on the north side. That brewery is going to be opening shortly,
What
I
brewery?
think.
What are you talking about?
In the old the machine shop up there, the what's it, Westfield Grinding, or what was the machine shop on the right hand going up towards the airport?
Yeah, up towards the airport, like near the like across from the little
Berkshire
old restaurant?
Industries. Berkshire Industries.
Berkshire Industries is going to be a brewery? I didn't
Yeah,
know
there's
that.
a brewery out of the Berkshires is going to
Wow.
open a second location with their full brew operation.
Isn't that market getting saturated?
here in Westfield?
I know.
Well, not on the. There's nothing at the north side. The closest brewery.
How far do you have to go to get a beer? I mean,
Everybody's in this city is kind of taking on different focuses for their beer, which is great.
Yeah, Machine Brew Ale. That's nice. Yeah,
Well, I don't know what it's
with
called. I
a
don't remember what it's
slight
called.
hint of 10W40.
exactly.
I don't remember what it's called, but
Get your lube on. Yeah,
Rick would be all over that. Rick
yeah.
Berry, but
No, I wouldn't.
No, notes of metal shaving.
Yes. Well, that adds flavor. When did that break the news? I did not hear anything about
that's
that.
several months ago. They've been building up there for a while, just getting ready to get it open. They were talking about trying to get it at least a soft opening before the air show, but I
Wow.
think they're taking their time because there's a lot of, like Kenny said, there is more breweries open. There's one just open in Windsor, Connecticut, another one in Windsor, Connecticut.
No kidding.
And Rick knows the guys because they were home brewers, but he said there's a lot of money behind that, and he's not sure where it came from because it's called Dudleytown Brewing.
Wow, did not know that. How about
That was all over Facebook.
Well,
And,
Jeez. Well, more importantly, Pete, if you can answer me this question, I've been waiting months and months and months. There was fencing that went up in the Westfield, not the Westgate Plaza.
Yeah, I saw
shops.
that.
Well, I was anticipating the construction of a Popeyes there, and then all of a sudden the fencing went away. Do you have any idea what's going on there?
KFC strong armed them.
Oh, you think so? Is that what happened?
are you just taking a stab at
Was
that?
there a
Ken?
chicken fight? No.
I don't know. Maybe they pulled out. I do know they repainted the lines there, but
Oh,
that
did
wouldn't
they? Yeah.
that wouldn't promote the fencing going up.
Well, maybe there was a grand game of chicken and KFC won.
Could be. I mean, well, the economy's going to hell in a handbasket. So I'm sure that any, I saw the planning board agenda. I think it was just like one hearing.
No, the economy is doing fine. I just got my update from Steve Donnelly. Everything is on track.
Hey, we should have invited him in, too.
We
That would have
should've.
been
Well,
hilarious.
he would never see. You'd have to do a home wire up there because you would never see him coming into the studio at this hour of the morning.
You mean his mask wouldn't fit all the way out here?
No, he's a late night dude, man. He is not. If we wanted to do a late night show like with him, that's how you have to roll with him because he's a night bird, as you know. So
Gotcha. Yeah, so I don't know. I saw that fence was up there for a while. It was almost like they did a site visit and showed them where it would be type of thing.
Well, that's what I thought it was, because I believe I don't know
I
if
heard
they
they were
ever
talking about that.
Yeah, there was some planning board action. They had another pad site available, went all through this thing all in the springtime. The fencing went up. I could swear that Rob Levesque did a presentation.
I wonder if
on-
it didn't get through conservation or something.
Well, maybe. I mean, for a long time, there was like no action on that strip because of, the compensatory storage stuff and all that. And then all of a sudden, boom, you had all this activity. And then now, it wouldn't surprise me if they just put a halt to it all. So,
We could look at the conservation minutes but I don't have time to research that.
but on to a more important topic of the day. I got to ask Ken, with all this rain and humid weather, can you give us a water quality report on Dubois Street, please?
It hasn't flooded yet.
No? But more importantly, your pool water. How's your pool water doing?
Why do you find ways of irritating me?
Are you still struggling? Are you in a struggle again this summer with
No.
pool water? No?
No, there has not been a struggle.
No?
It's been perfect up until the last storm,
Yeah?
and I got all the phosphates and flocculant out
Yeah.
after that. And then it
Define
rained all day
flocculent.
yesterday.
You're throwing these big terms around.
Flocculant are particles that are suspended in the water that are too small to be captured by the filter.
Gotcha.
On Meadow
So-
Street,
so-
where would flocculant occur from on Meadow Street? Come on.
So you add a chemical, and it binds all that, and it drops it down to the floor, and you vacuum it out, and your pool is clear.
Ken, I got to tell you, we've had 32 years of pools on the Canapic compound, and I have never, ever used the word flocculant.
I know, huh?
Well, another
Yes.
another chemical used to help prevent that from happening is a clarifier. Have you ever put in a clarifier?
No, I think people have urinated, though, in the pool.
Okay, so you've been chalking the hell out of it. So yeah, the only problem I have are phosphates getting in the
Yeah.
damn thing from the rain.
No kidding.
But no algae. I put in 1 puck a week.
Yeah,
The thing
yeah,
that pisses me off is it's like the summer that never was
Yeah,
from
I
2
know.
years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
It's been above 82 degrees
Right.
in the pool like 3 times all summer.
Yeah.
With the solar
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it. That's why I'm going out to Nevada in a week and a half, because it just hasn't been hot enough around here for me.
Well, good timing, because I just sent you a very timely article about a trip to Las Vegas. Are you going to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Well, I just sent you an article. Actually, I posted on Facebook and I tagged you on that. You know what the article was?
Bed bugs.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Really? What?
a friend of mine saw that same article and tagged me on it as well. But you know what? None of those places I go to, and Circus is on there. And to be honest, that place should be imploded.
That place was gross 20 years ago.
Yeah, and the Tropicana they're tearing down.
No kidding. Is it still open?
Yeah,
I stayed there, so I
yeah.
went out
Caesars
there.
Entertainment owns them.
Well, because I went out there for a job actually it was a...
Well, they own the company that owns the Bally's name owns them. Sorry.
it was a week after 9/11 I flew out. Whenever planes could fly again, and I stayed 2 weeks at the Tropicana.
Yeah. They're putting a ball field there.
Really? No kidding. Like a major league field?
Yep, that's where the Oakland A's are going.
Oh, no kidding.
Really?
How
Oakland's
about
moving
that?
to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
So Oakland, after that, they will have no major league team, right? I mean,
That's
so
it. Yeah, they're all gone.
they're all gone, right? Wow, how about that? Gone from like the crazy times of the 70s and 80s to nothing.
Yeah, but you know what they do when they do? You never really hear much about the bed bugs in Vegas, but every hotel.
Well, because
deals
what
with
goes
them.
on in Vegas never leaves Vegas.
Oh no, that's a lie.
The bugs don't tell.
That's a lie. But what they do is, if they do run into an issue, say the room next to you, they'll turn around and say, there's a possible infestation next door. We'd be happy to move you to a suite and launder your clothing at no charge.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, it hasn't happened to me. I've seen it happen. I know people it has happened to, but in my 25-plus trips out there, I haven't been lucky enough to get bit.
So, Ken, in 10 minutes, we've covered flocculation on Meadow Street,
Maybe we'll have some flocculation in Las Vegas.
bed bugs in Las Vegas,
Lord.
in the games of chicken on East Main Street in Westfield. What more fun can you have on a Wednesday morning at 6:10? I think it's August 6th. Do you know what? 16th.
16th.
Right. Do you know what significance this day in history has? because I struggled with this invitation, Pete.
Okay, why?
Why? Because how in the world could, like me, fill in for somebody with the esteemed reputation of Tina Gorman in the elders community? I might be inclined with my partner here, Kenny.
But this is where you started on a Wednesday morning.
Well, but my audience not necessarily was
9 years ago.
Was catering to like the elder audience to the point where over the years, Tina has great segments on like heart health and like how to avoid the big heart attack, shoveling, heat safety. We did retire the fire stuff,
Yep.
and all these other things like your mental health and aging, chair yoga, all these things related to aging gracefully and health. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I said yes because I wanted to get back on the radio, but then I reread the invite and oh no, Kenny's gonna be with me. I don't know, man. We might turn off a lot of Tina's audience. That could be troublesome the way we operate.
Hey, the most watched demographic that I have in Southwick
Yes.
are the seniors down.
Well, I read the article on
So-
Cindy Sullivan, good lead-in, and everybody seems to be old in Southwick, so that does not surprise me, my friend.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Wow.
I hope Carl isn't watching this.
Well, Carl's not too far from retirement himself. But
Yeah.
the reason why I went down that road is because on this date in history, if I'm reading this correctly, because I said, well, if I'm going to fill in for Tina, I got to do something like Tina's Tidbits here, right? And she was always big on this date in history. 1977, I'll give you a hint, this date in history. Could it be possible? American singer Elvis Presley, known as the King of Rock and Roll, died of a heart attack.
No way.
Way! Yeah, that's what it says.
But Madonna was also born on this day.
Well, you're right. It's funny you mention that
so
because
we
I'm looking
lose
at
one
that
and we
too.
get the other.
Yeah, well, who would you rather have?
Elvis.
Elvis.
Yeah. Even fat 95-year-old Elvis, I'd rather
Yeah.
watch him perform right now.
Yeah, and then another person, an icon of the 20th century, Idi Amin, died on this date in 2003.
Former Egyptian or Israeli?
No, Idi
Amin
Amin
is
was
Israeli, right?
Ugandan.
Oh, the dictator.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. I mean,
knew.
there's lots of fun facts.
Doesn't say anything on there about the first color sound cartoon being released.
No, I haven't gotten that far down in the decades of knowledge there.
Have you gotten up to the Bennington Battle Day? That's
well,
only the state of Vermont.
I'm at the War of 1812 right now.
I've been to some of the battle sites for Bennington.
Yeah.
That was when we did our road trip in the spring.
Yeah, they have a big obelisk there, don't they? Like a big spire there?
Yeah, that's one of the sites. But then we stumbled across another one. It was still in New York State, but it was just over the line into New York, and it was on a hill. And there's all kinds of battle monuments up there too, smaller ones, but you can see the obelisk from there. You can see the obelisk from everywhere. That thing's huge.
Yeah.
It is absolutely huge.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because some of our folks in the audience might like this elder audience. That I don't know how this escaped me. There's a series that I watched in the spring, and it was from 2014, 2018. It was a 4-year run on AMC. It was streamed. It was a story called Washington Spies. It was about George Washington's spy network that operated out of a place called Setauket, Long Island, and they spied on the British, mostly out of New York City, in all their movements, but how critical they became to play a role into duping the British to think that Washington at the end of the war was going to attack New York, that kept a lot of the troops there, while the forces of the colonials went down to Yorktown and trapped in the British down there in Yorktown. So it was kind of amazing, but it did in a 4-year cycle. I think there was like 10 episodes to a season. These streaming seasons are very short these days.
Yeah, we're getting real short.
It was fascinating because it puts a lot of names to people you read about maybe in history, have heard about, but it has I didn't know. They traveled across the Long Island Sound on these rowboats, and they might have been like 20-foot long rowboats with a great degree of regularity, back and forth, smuggling and things of this nature. And I'm saying to myself, man, I'm just tired watching the TV series, watching these guys row back and forth. But I mean, could you imagine this day and age? doing that with a rowboat across Long Island Sound, and then you're doing it, lugging all these supplies.
They were
and
much
supplies.
younger than present day Dan.
Well, they were, and they were in much better shape because they didn't have a weed dispensary on every corner, a brewery down every block, and a Dunkin' Donuts literally
They might have
at
had
the
a
end of every street.
They might have had a brewery around every corner
Well, they might have had
because everybody was a home brewer back
Well,
then.
that's true. That could be possible, but I'm pretty sure they didn't have weed dispensaries or
They probably didn't even know what that was.
or Dunkin' Donuts for sure. Right?
Yeah, they didn't have donuts.
No.
Well, they might have made them but they cooked everything.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Simpler time, but people lived. I don't mind a simpler time. Life's kind of complicated nowadays.
I don't know. I've been following you this summer, man. You've been like hundreds of days down there filming Babe Ruth World Series games and train photos of you pulling into train stations. Then you made some big news with a gal pal you got. I mean, man, you've been like living it up like you're a retired dude.
Well, no, just pretty much what I've been doing since 2017.
Gangsta.
Gangsta.
I go down and do my thing with Babe Ruth.
Yeah, no, you did great. You did great. And hey, Babe Ruth. We'll talk about a little bit later about Babe Ruth and some great Babe Ruth memories. down
Yeah,
there.
that 2016 we were pretty much going. I posted that memory of you guys broadcasting that game for
God.
Mountain Home, Arkansas.
Do you remember how hot it was? That series that was like the most ungodly. Ken, you remember that was like so ungodly hot. If you should have had the pool then, I mean it was brutal.
That was pre China virus.
Pre-China virus. Well,
Way pre.
in pre-Biden bucks. Speaking of Biden bucks, I hear there could be some more Biden bucks on the way. He wants to give you $700 something.
That's only for the people of Hawaii.
Oh, I thought it was for everybody.
No, that's only for the people affected by the wildfire in Maui.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay, well.
Yeah, when
They can't afford it.
when my $750,000 house goes down, that $700 is going to help out a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, those houses probably weren't that expensive. That was a semi-residential community.
Yeah, I saw. Well, actually, a lot of it was some of the workforce residents too were living
Right.
there
Yeah,
as well,
that's
right.
insane.
Yeah.
Vultures are going in there trying to buy that property up, and they're not being allowed to do that.
Yeah, the Hawaii governor put a moratorium on buying stuff,
Yeah.
buying land over there.
And the Rock weighed in, told the governor, "Don't let people buy this stuff."
Right, because it's people who can't afford it. They're going to need help to rebuild.
Yeah, no,
Because
that's crazy.
they're working class people.
Well, they showed a clip last night on the news of just outside of that area on the same island, there's like full-on resort activities going on, people surfing and doing all
Yeah,
this
the east
stuff.
side of the island.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy to think that in a place that small, such devastation, and then just a few.
Well,
The
listen,
Southwest website still has a travel advisory
Oh,
out
does it?
for it. Yeah.
Crazy.
I saw this firsthand what wind can do in a situation like that in Holyoke. When I worked for Channel 40, there was 2 abandoned apartment buildings, and we had gusty winds like that. And somebody was lighting porch fires there, and within 2 hours, both 5-story apartment complexes, because there was an alleyway in between, and the winds were funneling down through that. Both complexes were on fire, and that ended up burning the church and everything else. It ended up burning down the whole block because the winds were so high, and the wind isn't even nearly as high as it was in Maui.
Yeah.
Fire spreads very, very fast in a dry, windy condition.
How do you start a porch fire with a flaming bag of poo?
No, with kids goofing off with lighters. But that was years ago. Remember when the church burned in Holyoke?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that was started
yeah.
with kids lighting up. They were playing with lighters on a back porch of an abandoned apartment block, and it ended up burning down both of them.
I don't remember the exact name of that church, but I do believe it had the word blood in it, right?
Yes,
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes. Hey, do you want to take a break for underwriting here?
We can do that.
Well, why don't we? Because we didn't even do a proper introduction because we had technical difficulties right off the gate. So
Somebody did.
Okay, so what his technical
We-
difficulty was, he came strolling in here at the last minute, but he needed to get his tablet onto the network, and you have that god-awful, long, wicked, encrypted
That I
password.
have to because of the school department.
And I explained that, but Mr. Knappich was actually amazed that he was able to input it properly the first time.
First shot?
on the first shot.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that, I will tell you this: that is a heck of a password. But in my world, that is a technical difficulty that occurred this morning. Even though the fail was completely on my end, but my 2 trusty sidekicks here this morning made it all happen. So I'm Dan Knappich. filling in for the unreplaceable Tina Gorman on Wake Up Wednesdays. Ken,
Have you gone a blank?
Tuesdays, I've had a lot of senior moments lately. I'm trying to think of like how many iterations of names we had for you over the years. But Kenny the Facebook guy.
That's where we started.
Right?
Yeah.
Ken's Den host. Ken Stomsky has joined us here. Very graciously offered to get his carcass out of bed.
I recruited him because
Yep.
this would bring in the original
Yeah.
team sans Tina back together.
And Pete Coles, who is never fails, always here because he lives and breathes all things community television.
I beat him
radio.
here today.
Huh?
I beat him here
Did
today.
you beat him here today?
I had to get a coffee.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have done great. So
I
you,
needed a coffee.
you dragged me in to fill in on for Tina today, and I think that's a wonderful thing because I appreciate that. And it's 6:20 in the morning, and you're listening to. Are we still on WSBK?
SKB.
That's Channel 38 out of Boston, my
Yeah,
man.
you finally got it right.
I
I can't remember those call letters to save my life.
so we're still. Are you sure we're still on that radio station in the morning? Because I'm not really sure we are. Are we?
We are. I checked
All right.
it this morning.
Okay.
Yeah,
very-
I've been
have this-
advertising WSKB.org.
Oh,
I have this new radio thingy that
Yes.
will that if you look on your screen,
Yeah.
that is not only a two-way radio, but it'll receive FM signals,
Oh, no
so I
kidding.
can
That is
spot check
cool.
us now.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
All right, nice job.
the Chinese are wonderful
Yeah.
when you want to buy cheapy
Beautiful.
radios.
Well, that's true. And then when they want to poison us all with because they own our baby formula market and our antibiotics, then we'll know about that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks for telling us that, Pete. Make sure you send that over so that we get that notice in Logerville. So,
Lord.
and broadcasting live on WCPC TV channel 15, right?
Yep.
Okay, we can leave now.
Well, you went uptown riding in your limousine with your fine Park Avenue clothes. You had the Dom Perignon in your hand and the spoon up your nose. Ooh, when you wake up in the morning with your head on fire and your eyes too bloody to see, go on and cry in your coffee, but don't come bitching to me. Because you had to be a big shot, didn't you? You had to open up your mouth. You had to be a big shot, didn't you? All your friends were so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. You know what everything's about. You had to have a white hot spotlight. You had to be a big shot last night. Oh. Yeah. And they were all impressed with your Halston dress and the people that you knew at Elaine's and the story of your latest success. You kept them so entertained. Oh, but now you just don't remember all the things you said and you're not sure that you want to know. I give you one hit, honey, you sure did put on a show. Yes, yes, you had to be a big shot, didn't you? You had to prove it to the crowd. You had to be a big shot, didn't you? All your friends were so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. So much fun to be around. You had to have the front page full tight. You had to be a big shot last night. Oh, 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 There's no big sin in sticking 2 cents in if you know when to leave it alone. But you went over the line, you couldn't see it was time to go home. No, 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 you had to be a big shot, did you? You had to open up your mouth. You had to be a big shot, did you? All your friends were so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. So much fun to be around. You had to have the white hot spotlight. You had to be a big shot last night. Oh, 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 oh,
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here.
Join us every Thursday morning
from 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show
right here on WSKB 89.5
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield. Good morning, caller. Go ahead.
Do we have a caller?
I think so.
Hello.
Oh, there was somebody was there for a second.
Oh, you're just teasing.
No, I saw the line ring.
You're just teasing. Pete calls. Hey, good morning.
I've texted a few people.
All right.
See who's awake.
See who's awake. Well, I don't know. I haven't had my coffee yet, so I gotta have that. I'm Dan Knappich. This is.
Oh wow, you have not
Pete Coles.
changed.
What?
Morning
Juice along with the coffee.
Yeah, of course. I got to start the day right, my friend.
You were doing that 10 years ago. That same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Is it still 8 sugar and 8 milk?
No, I've cut way back. I'm a 2 and 2 guy.
I'm still black coffee.
Yeah, I just could not warm up to that. I tried for a long time, but I could not. Hey, you know what's happening?
We're doing a
week?
Mornings with Mayor Dan revival today.
We are. And I figured, to be true to Tina, because I know if I didn't work in like Tina tidbits, she would be really disappointed in me.
She may be up because with the grandchild and stuff. She may be up early this morning.
What? Come again?
You didn't know about that?
I didn't know about that.
You seriously didn't know about that?
Well, I live in a time warp over in Logerville, and you guys know that I'm kind of like out there, and if I don't get like Pony Express notification from you guys,
Yes.
then I just don't know about it. So what the hell happened?
Grace had a daughter a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations! I did not know that. Holy smokes!
Well, because she doesn't have Facebook. That's why you didn't know.
Well, that's probably true too. And as you know, all my Facebook is really used for is updating you guys on old or WWE and WWF legends. So
And the Billboard Top 40 for that week.
oh, isn't that great back in the 80s?
By the way, I know that
Yes.
Joe from Moolicious is listening because he said
Oh,
he said I think it's going to be a long show. Is what he said. And then he had a question for Kenny, but I told him to call in and ask the question.
Joe, I love Southwick. You know that. My mother's from Southwick. We have long family roots. My grandmother lived there forever. We love Southwick on this show. And Southwick was always good to me when I was in office. So, Joe, I'm sorry. I take it back. And we love your Council on Aging director. And, Joe, just for the record, my son 1 year was your Easter bunny, okay, for the Easter egg hunt. So we love Southwick.
Kenny,
okay?
apparently you have some recording time with Joe this week or something?
Next week.
This Friday, 12 to 2. He's checking his calendar.
Well,
No, it's next Friday.
Okay, well.
He's been weird on all these recording dates. It's
So what Kenny's doing is
25th.
working with Joe on preserving the history of Southwick,
nice.
as told by the residents of Southwick.
Oh, very. That is.
and we pluck them right out of the senior center there.
Yeah. Well, nice. You got some tobacco stories?
We had Mr.
Somebody
Arnold
called
come.
in.
Did you?
I just heard of the phone
We had
clip.
Mr. Arnold come in for an entire
Oh, did
show
you?
the last
Yeah.
time.
I sweated many days in the fields, tobacco fields, not for the Arnolds, but for another grower.
All right, good morning. Who's on the air?
Apparently
Hello?
nobody. Hello.
There was somebody there on the phone
I
again.
I heard a carrier.
It's got to be Bobby G. We're being haunted.
Good morning. Can you hear us?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, Joe.
Good morning.
Hi,
How
Joe.
are you?
Leave
Yeah,
it to the
so I am
farmer
on-
to be up early.
I didn't know ice cream was
Oh,
a
you
farming activity. Ice cream is a farming activity?
He's on that's the Moolicious farm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He does have animals over there, you know.
I know. I've seen a few of the animals. They're beautiful. Hey, Joe, this one's for you, buddy. Sunday, I believe, August 20th, 2023, from 12 to 4 is Open Farm Day, celebrating our agricultural heritage. Experience Southwick Farms.
If you had listened to Ken Stomsky's show yesterday, you would have got an hour of information on that.
Well, that's pretty darn cool. You know what? I tell you what. In all seriousness, I do drive through Southwick, and I'm concerned, as you know, as everybody is that I was at a party the other day at one of my coaches on our Babe Ruth team is from Southwick, way down there. Is it like Mort Vining Road down there, Davis Road, somewhere in that area, and you know, there's a lot of open fields and farms there, and it's like in my lifetime I've seen a lot of building go on in Southwick, as Joe has, of course, and I know there's a delicate balance you got to strike. But, you know, at some point in some time, you know, probably my kid's lifetime, even more of that farmland will be gone. And, you know, once it's gone, it never comes back. But one of the nice things about Southwick is when you clear the 10 and 202 corridor, I mean, in some of those side roads, how much open space there really is. It's beautiful. Speechless. I've rendered him speechless.
No, you're absolutely correct. There's plenty of open space in Southwick, and it's unfortunate that you do see some development happening, but that's progress, as you know. I mean, look at Westfield, right? You used to be able to drive through the center of town. Now you can't unless you know, the Mass Pike, that whole mess you guys are in. Thank God it's Westfield and not Southwick. But you're right. I mean, some of the farmland is getting eaten up. It is housing, but overall, it's still a farming town.
True.
No doubt about it.
Well, you know, my favorite spot in Southwick for years was the country club in Southwick, and you know, I used to play in a league there for years, and that was one of those great like everyman courses. You could go out there, play with 4 or 5 clubs, and have a great meal afterwards. And breaks my heart. That was a place from the time I was 12 years old on my bike. We'd drop our bikes off in the woods on Tannery Road and head in and play 6 before the ranger caught us and kicked us off, and that's how I spent most of my summers as a kid, you know. So, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, Joe.
There's some houses in the way, but hey, I don't mind.
Well, there was some back then too, and the people would yell at us now and again, but we didn't care. We were kids, right?
Sure, and I'm sure your talent's not any better than it was back then.
No,
so
not at all.
Fine out there.
No, it is. It's a thing you got to balance. I don't know what the, you know, in the end of the day is that, you know, we had a lot of our struggles over the years, and people would complain when things got bought up, and I would just always tell the folks, I'm like, well, if you don't own it, you really don't have you don't really have much to say about it, because in the end, if somebody's got ownership on it and they got a legal right to do something, that's the process, and that's just the way it goes, you know.
And it is, and that's what people seem to forget. They drive by farm fields and think that that's their view.
Yeah.
They're not paying the taxes on it. It's not their view. And most of the land in this town, there is very little industrial land, and some of it does, you know, is off a college highway and whatnot. But overall, it's not zoned to be industrial in Southwick. It just isn't.
No, you're right.
There's housing and farming, and unfortunately, the bigger tracks get all the attention, and everyone gets upset. But like you said, you just go off the beaten path here in town, which is, what, 1/8 of a mile down any side road.
Yep.
And it's country. And that's not going to change.
Hey,
it truly isn't.
Well, Joe, can you fill me in a little bit? My brother and I were talking about this connector road on the end of Sam West Road to, I think it's Hudson Drive, where the industrial park is. Is that going to open up more property for industrial or commercial development down there? Is that what the purpose of that road is? Or?
Well, so I'm just speaking as an average citizen, of course.
Yeah.
Let's get that part straight. So send out your complaints to Doug Moblin, and you'll be fine. So, honest to God, so back in the day, right, there was a pit back there.
Right.
I think there still is.
Yeah.
So it's land that no one's ever really seen, unless you're in that type of equipment. And the theory was the end of Sam West and the end of the Industrial Park Road would connect. It doesn't. There is some. I don't call them lots. I guess the theory is when you're done with that sand pit, you have to redevelop it into something.
Right.
So that, I think that's the theory is, okay, that'll become an industrial park.
Yeah.
So we spent, what, $100,000 for the grant to design it. But we don't own the land. There's still land taking that would have to happen someday to make that road. So I don't honestly know if you'll see it in 5 or 10 years. You know how government works.
Oh, no.
Not next year, that's for sure.
Is that owned by one owner, or is there multiple owners involved there?
I think there's really two. I think I'm not perfect, but I think Tilcon is one of them.
Yep.
It's probably the bigger one, and then on that backside there's a small butter there. But I think it was all farmed as a pit. So,
yeah, right.
It is what it is, and it doesn't. I don't think all that really was the thought process was that would take traffic out of the center of town.
Right, right.
As far as trucks go.
Yeah.
But even so, Mr. Wally's putting a huge building up over there. But at the end of the day, it's only a few more employees. It's more for storage than anything else for the components they make.
Yeah.
So it doesn't drive a more industrial. It doesn't drive an uptick in trucking by any means. And I think when that's all developed back there, look at them. There's machine shops down there now.
Right, right. Well,
I think there's more FedEx.
Yeah. All
more
right.
FedEx and UPS trucks in this town
to cut
than
through.
there ever will be trailer trucks.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, I noticed you guys are building an addition down at the property you acquired down the south end of town, the church there, the old church. What are you guys building over there? I saw a lot of dirt moving.
I know somebody was pouring concrete there the other day.
Whereabouts is that?
Yeah. Up by the McDonald's.
Yeah, way down there. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Way down there is the Our Community Food Pantry.
Yeah.
That's been there for 13, 14 years. I was lucky enough to acquire all that property, or my nonprofit was.
Oh, no kidding.
So no kidding. Yeah. The bottom line is Nick Baldigo had an earmark put in a year and a half ago. It actually stuck, and he was able to send $150,000 towards the Civic Fund. Oh. And with those funds, we are building a new food pantry. It's a 30 by 60 building,
wow, that's
one
great.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It is. It's not enough money, of course, as you know, but we've been very fortunate. Crestview Construction and a few other folks have gone above and beyond to make this project a reality.
That's
so
awesome.
You saw the footings went in. Yeah, Comey concrete poured. And it's great because, as you know, I'm a hands-on person, so I help with the footings, I help with the walls. They'll backfill in the next 2 days, and I guess I'll be grabbing a hammer on Monday when we put the actual building up.
Nice.
So
yeah, a lot of stuff going on. I followed. There was an article, Joe, the other day about doing some preliminary work on some potential for water improvements at Congamon. I think they were talking about. I don't know whether it's these channelways that connect the lakes or something, but I was wondering if there was any further discussion with the Suffield about doing any type of sewering with them in the future. Is there anything with that on that topic?
So my version of that, strictly my version, is they get a new select person in town and they get all excited and they want to run sewers. There's a sewer line sitting right at the edge of the state line,
right
by the apartments up there. It's always been there for them to connect to. There's always been discussions. Southwick has enough capacity bought for out of Westfield to handle them.
Ooh,
right, which we pay for. Pay for yearly.
Right, that was the agreement years ago. Right, yeah.
Yep, years ago, right? So everyone's on the table, everyone's there, but Suffield just never seems to pull the trigger. They just don't. They'll call, they'll have meetings, and it just falls apart.
They'll court you, and then they walk away at the end when you're getting to the altar.
Yeah.
But is there? But with being the two communities that pretty much have ownership of the lake, is the water quality at the lake ever an issue between the states and somebody's got to do something about this? I mean, is there any of those types of dialogues, or is it kind of like in a everything's good for now type of situation?
No, I think if we had our way, they'd be connected.
Yeah.
That becomes, I believe, my understanding is the water is all Massachusetts.
Oh, no kidding.
It's not Connecticut because we go round and round.
Yeah, the border. I think the border actually runs along the Connecticut coastline.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep. So when it comes to having their docks registered, their boats, yada yada yada, every year seems to be a struggle because technically, Suffield has nothing to do with it.
They're on a mass waterway.
Mass waterway. But the lake has improved. The quality of water has definitely improved. I don't think we closed our beach this much this year like we have in the past. So it is better, but we would love to see that site connected in.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for everybody, but I get it.
Yeah.
Money's money.
No,
so,
money's money, yeah.
So now all this grand experiment. You recruited Joe, Dan, years ago when we had all the mayors on. We used to have all the mayors or executives from each of the communities.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the Alex Morse for a short bit. We had Will Reichelt for a couple of years.
Didn't you have Mayor Cohen, too, for a bit?
Mayor Cohen came in for a while, and then the only one that stuck was Mr. Dede over there.
Yeah.
And then after he got out of government, I asked him to stay on because he became such a good host and an advocate for Southwick that we could easily handle 2 shows about Southwick. And then Joe talks about whatever he wants. So.
Yeah.
Well, it really still is just one show. It really is.
Oh.
Woo!
I've seen,
They're coming on. They're coming on to 8:00. So
I seem to remember uploading 2 distinct programs to Southwick Channel 15 every month.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, Joe. I believe I'm reading in the paper that that there's a Whip City. Is there a Whip City fiber initiative going on in Southwick? Is that true?
yeah, they got funds at the town meeting to get that partnership up and running.
So I'm gonna tell you this story.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, wait.
Just back up, everybody.
Okay.
What did you talk about? The bride and all that other stuff. I think Whip City is one. All right, Whip City is one of the folks we're looking at.
Oh, okay, I got
And
you.
once again, I'm not on that committee.
Yeah,
but
understood.
Yeah, don't speak too quick.
So
I do know that with the merging of dispatch,
yeah,
that Whip City Fiber is in our police department.
right.
I believe it's coming into town hall, or it is in town hall.
Yeah.
And they love it.
Yeah.
They truly do love it.
So
But like everything, there's a bid process, and you just can't say Whip City Fiber's your next deal.
Well, and because Agawam,
But they are at the table.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Agawam before they had, we talked to Les about this. Before they had a municipal partner, a private company came in and started dropping fiber all over town, and they're probably going to beat their.
Yeah.
If they had a municipal shot, they're probably going to beat them to it as a customer service. And why, have 2 fiber providers might not be a good thing in town because neither one would be
Absolutely.
successful.
yeah, one of the things.
Right. We don't have that problem.
Yeah, one of the things, like I always would tell people, we were up for a Comcast renewal back in like 2011 or 2012, and so I had Comcast in the office at the time, and back then nobody really knew what the future of streaming was.
I told you
that
what
type
it
thing,
was.
right? Well, I understand. There were a few people in the know. So I remember we got locked into a stalemate with Comcast, and they were adamant they wanted another 10-year agreement. And it was one of those things as a franchise community. And Westfield was one of the older ones, and we were like, look, we don't get a senior discount. If you ever decided to give us one, it's maybe like you give us our seniors like $2 off the bill. It's so complicated; they don't even understand how to do a basic option. You want to pull out of the customer service center on East Mountain Road. You really don't even want to be in the customer service business anymore. And all you got is like this triple play bundle. I mean, at the time I had 2 little kids. Every time they whack a movie, I'm paying like $3.20 a month, right? So I told him, I said, I'm doing a 5-year deal because I'm going to predict to you in 5 years, cable TV programming in Westfield, as you know it, is going to be like a dinosaur thing of the past. And they were like, oh, that's not going to happen, right? So I was watching a TV segment last night. Xfinity's finally crying uncle a little bit. That cable TV, there's so much cord cutting going on. But the interesting story is whether you pick Whip City or some other fiber provider, it was that like free market concept of once that cable, because once broadband 123 came in from the Mass Pike and got wired into all these different communities, that's what it's all about. And unfortunately, cable TV back in the day when you had, franchising it was kind of a great idea because it wasn't expensive and it was a kind of a concept when you had a small number of cable operators. You had some wiggle room to negotiate, but once they started buying up all the operators, you lost all that, right? So in the end, it became a gigantic utility company. You were stuck with what they were going to give you, So because broadband came in, the conduit became like a third of the price to get into it to push tons of data out. So all you needed was somebody to come in and connect your home. And there was a lot of different options. Like Greenfield ended up doing, to a large degree, like a microwave signal into neighborhoods that made it even cheaper, So there was a lot of things to explore. And I remember in that meeting, the old line guy from Comcast was like, you're making a big mistake. And I looked at him, I'm like, nah, sorry, buddy, beat it, And, and of course, we were lucky here in Westfield because Whip City Fiber ended up doing the build-out. But I became a Whip City customer, and I'm still at $69 a month for the cable, for the fiber connection. And I always tell people, There are so many streaming options today at that high speed rate. And, you know, and I remember the day I brought my cable junk in to the service center on East Mountain Road.
When it was still open.
Right, when it was still open, I had this big box, all my stuff in there, right? And my mother was a cable TV employee for 30 years. And when she got rid of them, I knew it was real, you know, because, like, my mother had all the great discounts, but they even cut all the legacy discounts for my mother, right, from all the retirees, right? I'm like, they're done. So I walk in the service center, and the woman looks at me. She goes, "Oh, it's you." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's me. Here's your junk. Take it." And she looks at me. She goes, "We're going to be back." And I'm like, "No, you're not." Right? And that's how that went. And, you know, and I was so happy. I was talking to Tommy Flaherty from the General Gas and Electric the other day, and he was telling me how good the reception rate's been with Whip City Fiber. And, you know, nothing gave me better pause than to have a big, huge monopoly like that, you know, eat a little bit of that humble pie, because they had lost the sense of what it was like to service Main Street America. When you know this, Joe, from your time in government, you would do these ascertainment hearings, and you would see this parade of seniors come in, and they're just killing them on these utility rates for this basic thing that seniors and everybody was. And I'm like, and they wouldn't even go out of their way to tell them about a basic option at the time was maybe $11.95 for, you know, 12 stations, and it was like, you guys are killing everybody, you know. So I'm all for live streaming.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we'll end up with Whip City. I think if you guys would at least sign this sewer deal that's in front of you at town government, it might help.
Joe, I'm out of that business. I'm completely retired. I'm out.
Two former politicians opining. Two former politicians opining on the radio.
Joe, you know, if I was there, you could sit down and we would have a nice conversation and get to the promised land. You know that, Joe, because that's how I am. Little good for you, little good for me, you know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that those days are gone.
They are.
It is what it is.
It is.
Yeah. Now it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
So, Joe, we'll see you first Friday of the month.
Oh, you're going to be in town, Pete?
Yes, I'll be back.
Good. You'll be back. Oh, good.
Well, you know, last I was volunteering for Babe Ruth, finishing up down there.
Yep, that's not my problem, sir. Anyway.
Wow. Did you say fourth Friday, Pete?
No, first Friday.
First Friday. Okay, because I have him on the fourth Friday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the afternoon.
Yeah, noon, something like that.
Wow, Joe's a man in demand.
And then he'll be getting ready for the Big E. So.
Oh, the Big E. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
already started getting ready for it.
You acquired all the Rondo's assets, huh? The Rondo Dairy Bar?
Sometimes. Nope, they're still in business. They're doing great. They no longer do concessions. And sometimes, if you're self-employed in your life, sometimes it's an insurance policy to just buy people out.
Yeah,
so it doesn't show up across the street from you.
When I worked out at Impact out there, that was one of the stops you'd make. You know, if you really were hankering for ice cream out in Palmer, Rondo's Dairy Bar is a fixture out there.
Yep. The son Mike runs it. He's doing a great job. We talk all the time. We actually trade recipes here and there. So, yep, good people.
Yep.
They're just not in the concession business anymore.
So does that mean you have 3 locations this year?
No. I have 2, and I keep begging.
Hey, Kenny, what are you doing? You know, he's looking for help. He's looking for help. You bored?
I think I'm doing other work during the Big E.
Yeah, you'll be working for you're probably doing your own movie for Southwick and then us.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen Kenny's work with the ice cream machine, so Kenny can continue on the radio.
Kenny makes a lot of mistakes, I bet.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on trying to make a very good grape ice cream.
That's great.
Yeah. It's all good. Boys, have a good day. We'll
all right, thanks,
soon.
Joe. Good to talk to you. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
You know, Dan.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned you're a proponent for streaming, and so am I.
Yes, sir.
But what I realized, and I'm a fiber customer as well.
Yes.
I needed to get on it for obvious reasons.
Yep.
But I started tallying up what it cost for all of the streaming services I needed in order to get every channel I want, and it was more than the cable. So I actually still have Comcast for my video side because it's costing me less than half a dozen streaming services. I have a DVR.
I have YouTube TV, and it's up to $74.
Pete, you don't watch TV.
I do a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Not
But
like me.
but also I haven't watched local news in years now.
But
it's been brutal.
Whip City gave me a digital antenna on the outside of the house, right? So all my local TV channels come through that. I got this streaming service called IPTV that I pay $20 a month for 4 devices, and then I have a Hulu, a Paramount. I think between the two of those and a Netflix, maybe it's 30. So I'm all in probably for like 70. The other one's 20, so that's 90. Probably like $1.10 or 11. But I mean I only watch actually maybe a half a dozen things.
Then you have to track down where your programming is.
I know,
and then figure out what input the song.
It doesn't
goes
bother
on.
me because all my stuff's on my Fire TV.
Yeah.
Well, then there's that, right? Yeah.
Well, and I have an aerial too. I threw it up my attic. I'm pulling in about 40 channels, and
good.
I have a TiVo box, believe it or not. So when they have the little arguments and the local channel gets taken away,
Right.
or Comcast goes down like it did several times last week, I have my TiVo and I still get my local programming off of that.
Yeah. No, I
But there again, I'm a different type of animal when it comes to television.
You are a different. You're a television junkie.
yeah. One of the things
I have a television in my bathroom, Dan. Come on.
Well, that's I bring my
that's a little
iPad
strange.
has a streamer on it here. But one of the things like what I would say is like sometimes I'll go to a place, to watch an event, and if you had a cable subscription, you could then put that in and stream from wherever you are.
That's what I like about YouTube TV.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you could do that with that. So
YouTube TV, when we were on the road in Virginia, I could
Yeah.
watch local Virginia, ABC, NBC,
Yeah.
CBS. It goes on. You use the GPS on your phone. It gives you local channels.
I mean, that's the one thing like having a traditional legacy cable subscription would work on. But I mean, I'm not struggling enough like that's going to be a behavior changer, So I don't know. I mean, in the end, what got me more than anything with Comcast is all these ascertainment hearings and how arrogant they became. And then I was out in Yarmouth and they were in a a renewal. And
Same
it was
thing,
the
right?
Same thing, man. It's
Same
like,
people, same faces.
same attitude,
When I first started working in Comcast, or in Southwick, the Comcast agreement was up.
Yeah.
So naturally, I get pulled in because I'm their PEG department now, and the only thing we could dictate was the length of the contract, the surcharge, and then whether or not to add another public access channel.
And by the way, the surcharge is a joke because they make it sound like that's revenue to you, but that's just taking it out of your ratepayer's pocket.
Right, and they put it on the bill that way.
They put it on the bill that way. So all you do is when you do that, so
It's not baked into their rate.
No, it's
above
not.
their
It's
rate.
above their rate, and
above
they'll
their
let they'll let the ratepayers, of course, know that. But when you go to do a build out, right? This is the beauty of it. I mean, I would hear like less informed people tell me like, well, yeah, but Comcast is giving us $320,000 worth of new technology and build out. I'm like, yeah, but you're paying for it.
Right.
You're not getting that for free out of Comcast.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
And your neighbor
Right.
who doesn't have a job, we're paying for their cell phone with the universal charge on our phone bill. I mean, every company every provider is doing something like
So
that.
for all of these reasons, all the things that like see, some of you guys, I don't know if you remember, but like I was saying on the phone with Joe, my mother started with the cable company when it was a local. It was
Continental Cable.
Continental.
Cable.
I worked for them.
Actually, before Continental, it was Commonwealth.
Yeah, she
I
started
worked for
with
Continental
Commonwealth.
Cablevision in Springfield,
Yeah.
and they were
Right.
a really good outfit.
Right down on Mainline Drive, their office was here, right? And so I that was like your, well, like, you know what that is? That was the difference between like a local department store where you had a relationship. Like I'll give you an example, like when we had Ed Moriarty's Shoes or Eaton's, the clothes store,
Or even
Kenny-
Steiger's.
or Steiger's, but these were truly local Westfield stores. So I would need a pair of shoes. It would be after school, I had a freshman say, right? So you could go down to Elm Street, and I'd go to Ed Moriarty's Shoes. You'd get good customer service. I'd get my shoes, and I'd say, put it on my dad's charge account. And they would do that, right? Versus what you get with Comcast, and that's what Continental Cable and Commonwealth Cable was like all about, that level of customer service. Now it's like Walmart shoes, right? They don't care who you are. And then in the community, you have a big issue. Now, I will say this. Of all the big chains that we have around here, including some of the supermarkets, Walmart, even though they couldn't give a lot of money, they were always more than willing to give.
That's part of the Walton's philosophy, though.
Right. So it was always like in increments, but like if you needed like rake, shovels, or whatever, they always was there, as was the Falcone family with Rocky's Ace Hardware. But the problem is as we got gobbled up all these places by these big name brands, the like local impact of the giving by the families and how much they would give to causes goes away.
Well,
right?
Continental Cablevision, their ownership group, when they started, I think they were started in Ohio or something, but they believed in local programming.
Right.
That was part of the credo of the company. And so when they built into communities, you didn't have to have a local 501c3 public access. They were really adamant about local programming, whether it be local origination,
Right.
which is stuff that they produced, or them funding cable access for years was in the Continental office on the 5th floor.
Right. Well, we had that
And
here.
LO was in the 3rd
Yeah.
floor. And then, there was a pretty good sized studio. That's where Mark St. Jean started.
Right. And that's why Scruffy McGool still lives and reruns sometimes at Channel 15, unless you guys have taken Scruffy off the air.
Yeah, it's been kind of old. I'd love to get new episodes or have them bring back old episodes type of thing. But yeah.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? We're heading up on the 7 o'clock hour. We've had more fun than 3 guys could have, right, on a Wednesday morning. Ken, you look pained. Are you
Okay. I'm trying to figure out where the fun is that you were just advertising.
God.
That's pretty good for me. It's
All right.
pretty lively discussion.
I'm just giving them hell.
It's 6:58. This is Dan
I
Knapp
tried
filling
texting
in.
your brother to see if he'd come in, or even Bo to give you grief.
No,
and-
Joe. Mike is coming in. He's flying. His arms are probably very tired. He's coming in this morning from.
Oh, he's flying in.
Yes, yeah.
How about Bo? Is he not up? He
You
used to
know,
be up this early.
He used to be, but I haven't heard from Bo in a while, so I'm not sure. Honest to God,
I wonder if he's on vacation.
I live like a hermit. My family and I, we were just out of the loop. Although I did get a email yesterday from Kelly here at the school, filling out a building use form for the PVO. I guess it's that time of year. I got to re-engage myself with the community to get.
We're getting geared up around here.
Yeah, get the PVO in order. I did get the email from the new golf coach my boys will have, Mr. Fow, is taking over for Bob Eck on the golf team. So that starts on Monday up at East Mountain Country Club with my good friend Ted Perez up there. So it's all starting. They're getting ready to go back. So, but anyways, 6:59 in the morning. It's August 16th. This is Dan Knapp filling in for Wake Up Wednesday super host Tina Gorman at my side. Kenny the Facebook guy. No, sorry.
Stop it. Hit that thing right now.
No, Ken's Den host, Kenny Stomsky, kind enough to join us, and always, of course, the keyboard kitten. No, that's probably
Kitten
not.
of the Keys. That hasn't been used in a long time.
Oh, I wasn't even up
Pete
there. Sorry about
Coles,
that.
and you're listening to Westfield Community Public Access TV, WCPC Channel 15, WSFD.
Just kick it to the break. You're worse than
Go
Bob
to the
Plass.
break. I don't know. I am like Bob Plass these days. I don't know. We'll see.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
I did
it! Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you're listening to The Dan Knappich Show.
Keep the frequency clear.
89.5 WSKB.
Wow, that's going way back there. Nice job, Pete.
I'm a digital pack rat. What
you
can I say?
You know what? I bet you being a digital pack rat is a lot easier on your like living arrangements than it is like any other kind of pack rat.
Correct. Yes.
Right. Yes,
you just need more storage.
More storage.
I have all three of those on this machine here too.
And you haven't played them yet? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Well, you're Mr. Producer today, and it's not my program. I'm just a sidekick.
Hey, something came up the other day. I think it was Bob's like 20th anniversary of living in Westfield. Did you guys see that? Something like that, 20, 21 years or something. I was thinking to myself.
Oh, Bob's been doing those Instagram.
Yeah, right.
Minutes.
Yeah, those minutes, right? You know, and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, I remember when Bob and James moved to town. I'm like, I'm not sure we're ready for that. But you know what? Those guys have they supersized and energized the arts and culture scene in Westfield, and for that, we are all truly better off for having those guys in our town. And,
that is correct. Yeah.
I mean, they really. I look at Bob and James now, but particularly Bob because I see him more often. And it's like, I cannot believe it's been that long. And he is with as much energy today as he was 20x years ago. And but thank goodness they did. Because
I don't know about that. He approached me yesterday and said, hey, once a month so I don't have to wake up early, can we tape an afternoon show?
Well, I mean, that's going to happen. But when he's on, though. You know what I mean? It's like he's so full of energy. Right. You know, but to see, just like to hear him like fumble with technology. Hey, I think I just did that, right? You know, but he's just
yesterday was
such
he was
a
riot with Jessica. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I've enjoyed their friendship over the years, and I wish them nothing but wonderful many more years of good health. So,
and I really appreciate him because we can talk straight, nonstop for half an hour about Big Brother.
Well, Ken, you have all those years of therapy on the radio together. That's cost you absolutely nothing but time. So that's a better.
No. He charges me $50 per session now.
All right. Okay. Well, that's
Kathy keeps charging him $50, and I don't ever see any money changing hands.
Well, hey, Hey, how great was that Joe called in and had some wonderful Southwick talk?
I know.
Yeah, Joe's one of those old throwback guys. He's a good guy to talk to. He's a wonderful community guy. I used to have nice chats years ago when Blandford Mountain was running. Joe did, I think, a couple seasons concessions up there. Maybe we used to chat quite a bit up there. I always love seeing Joe around. And
he's doing concessions now at Butternut.
Yeah. Oh, is that Butternut? Yeah.
He's now at Butternut.
Yeah. So geez, that's a tough way to make a living what he does, and he does a fabulous job. But Joe is just a solid guy. I enjoy talking politics, and I kid you not, when you sit in a room with Joe, you can get things done, but you got to be willing to walk in a room and be able to give a little bit. And I think sometimes today people aren't necessarily, and that's no particular commentary on any issue of the day in front of either of the two communities. I'm just saying.
Well, and it's hard to find people that civic-minded nowadays.
No, you're right.
He really is civic-minded.
But there was some advice I got from a legendary Westfield politician years ago, which was, hey, kid, just remember, a half a loaf is better than no loaf at all.
Was that Charlie?
That was the esteemed one, Charles Medeiros. That's correct, yeah. Mm-hmm. So the other one was, hey, kid, it's a municipal government can be a great thing, but remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And that
absolutely.
Was
God, yes.
Jim Boardman. So
absolutely.
So if you stay at the table long enough, you can do great things. And speaking of staying at the table, I finally was able to get a hold of, this is a great person, Sarah Greenleaf of the DCR Regreening the Urban Forest Initiative. And so if you live in certain neighborhoods here in Westfield, you are able to contact the DCR people and get some trees planted. And we had our consult with with Sarah the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I'm so excited to bring some trees down into Logerville.
Is that bet still going on
good.
between Ralph and?
Yeah,
that's
so.
exactly what I was going to
Matthews
say. I encourage everyone listening in Ward 2
Yes, sir.
to reach out to Ralph Figge to get some trees. Because Ward 2 wants to win for the second year in a row.
I asked
Ralph and
Sarah,
Bridget.
I asked Sarah if she knew the breakdown of the tree race right now going on. But I'm with you, Ken. But the biggest thing is just call these folks. They're wonderful to work with. And all you got to do is sign on the dotted line to give the tree 15 gallons of water once per week for 2 years. That's not a heavy lift. But just, I go back, and this is what I told Sarah. I've been, obviously in town a long time, and in these downtown neighborhoods at one time, everything has a life cycle, right? So just like people in a house have a life cycle, neighborhoods go through this, the trees do as well. And so a number of the neighborhood tree belts have seen better times. I think like South Maple Street's been kind of completely reamed out, and so has like Lindbergh Boulevard's got some really old trees, but there's been a lot of hollowing out. And you just need people to care for them. That's all it takes. And if everybody in the downtown neighborhood put one tree in front of their house, that would make those streets look so much better. But anyways, I'm doing my part. I'm excited about it. It's taken us like a long time. My brother did it, I think a couple years ago. He started with the initiative. He's put in like 9 trees. They look great. They're coming along good. And I'm excited for it. I think it's a wonderful program. And I asked her, I thought it was only a couple-year program. She goes, listen, we started in Holyoke in 2014, and we're still there. I'm like, oh, that's great. So let's keep going. So there's my plug. Ralph, get on it, buddy. I'm going to do some trees for you. I'm not sure the total number we're going to get, but I'm going to click up that tally for you. So
I'd love to see that happen.
Yep. So, hey, I thought while we're here at 7:10 in the morning here on another rainy, dreary day, we talk a little bit about some things that we've been doing this summer, and I mentioned to Kenny, I'd like to, by the way, let me get in one Tina tidbit here. As you guys know, I like to freewheel. So did you know on this date in 1896 that gold was discovered in the Yukon? I'm just saying, hey.
And Alaska became. Did we own the Yukon by then?
No, we don't own the Yukon. The Canadians do.
Oh,
No.
I thought the Yukon extended up into Alaska.
That's Yukon territories in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're only doing Tina halfway here. You've done the.
I did Farm Days.
That's an event
that attracts older
but
folks.
You did history.
Yeah.
But you didn't cover what day it is today.
I did Wednesday.
Today happens to be National Roller Coaster.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm sorry. National Roller. Hey, speaking of roller coaster, did you see that crazy video that roller coaster that cracked and they didn't shut it down? About a month ago. I don't think
the people that ran it noticed.
Well, I know, but the guy showed them, and they still kept running. It's like, no, dude, you got to shut this thing down. It's broken, and then it cracked again.
Well, it cracked all the way off. It was bouncing on it.
Yeah, but then after they fixed it or something, it cracked in another spot. I'm like, what?
No kidding. That's a bad design then.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with roller coasters, today is also National Rum Day.
Oh.
So you could have some rum and then maybe get on a roller coaster.
Well, you know who I miss the most when you're talking about National Roller Coaster Day? Because nothing was better than that mountain park when you get on the old Thunderbolt or whatever that thing was called, and it would hit the tree. It would, rub against the tree that was right there. But, every time fair season comes around, there was a local politician. Local, when I say local, I mean, in these parts. And by the way, here's a plug. The Sheriff's Clam Bake Picnic, whatever, is at the Tiffany Street, Springfield Elks today. Starts around, noontime till 6 o'clock. Don't miss out. Sheriff Nick's a good guy.
Does it just kind of show up?
Yeah, you just show up. There's a charge.
It used to be invite only.
No,
I've been waiting for an invite.
No, it's a show up thing. So anyways, fair season, they got these mobile carnival things, wheels of death, all that stuff. But it was State Rep Paul Karen, right?
I remember talking to Paul about that when I worked at Channel 40.
Because Paul was the chairman of the Public Safety Committee. And you know why Paul was such an advocate on carnival safety?
I know why.
Why was that?
He broke his back on one of those rides.
Well, yeah, because the thing fell off its wheels or something.
Yeah, he broke his back when he was young.
So he was
I remember interviewing him, doing a feature story on that. Oh, God, when I worked at Channel 40, we did a full 2-minute package on that, talking about the carnival rides. It was a carnival season and why it was so important. And Massachusetts, I think, was one of the first states in the country to have inspections of those rides
for mobile carnies,
on a regular basis.
And here's a family trivia. So we had a cousin. He's still alive. He's a nice guy, super nice guy. He's probably early 40s now. So when we were younger, like I was probably in my mid-20s, he was 15, and he joined a carny. He became a carny guy. Right, so
they used to have a bad stigma to him. Now
I
they
know.
make good. Those guys make good money.
But he grew up here in the area, and he I don't know how long he went for, maybe a couple summers or something. But he carnied. So I remember I ran into him one day in a setting for work, and I
hey,
said,
Kenny, you're about to get hit by a train.
"Oh boy." I said, Jimmy, I said, hey, did you ever meet the lobster lady or the world's ugliest man when you were in the carny? And he gave me all the inside story. But I was sworn to secrecy. He said, if I tell you what goes on in carnies,
demystify it.
Yeah, so I can't tell you anything that happened. I told him, I said, you got to tell
Well,
me.
again, it's all about the show.
Well, it's like the curtain. Like if you go beyond the curtain, you're gonna pay $20 to see the world's smallest pony or whatever it is, because that's coming to the Big E, right? And it's like, are you sure it's the world's smallest? He goes, no, I guarantee you that's the world's smallest pony if you go in there and pay that $20.
Nowadays, you get sued if you don't. Even if you just pay $5, they'd sue. Really, seriously, right?
Kenny's like dying. He goes, I really want to know. Did he really see the guy with the lobster?
I've never fallen for any of that.
Yeah, but Kenny, you're going to be meaty over there. You can find out for yourself.
You're so sophisticated, Ken.
Tell me a joke, Dan, because it's also National Tell a Joke Day.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to say something right now to you guys. I was never a good joke teller. There's a good reason for that. So
actually, Kenny, you should take Dan over to the Big E for a day, and you guys should walk around and just do interviews.
We could do that. Yeah. Well,
that'd be like your old show, Discover. It's Westfield.
Working in Westfield. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, let's do that, Ken. We'll do that.
Actually, we'll take turns in front and behind the camera.
But listen, in order for us to not get slugged by some drunken patron, we might need to have some real legit press credentials. Pete, could you make that happen?
I'm already doing that, yeah.
Because you know what? We went up to...
They've approved us for a couple of years in a row now.
I'm just saying, because we went up and did the air show, and I think my family almost got arrested by the Air National Guard up there for... Where would the TV crew? There's no such thing as a TV crew here. No, really, look up there. You're not one of them. They wouldn't believe that my kids weren't one of the
until
TV
we went
crew.
down and got you.
I know, right? So I get frightened by altercations like that.
Oh, jeez.
And if I walk around with Kenny, I mean, so we could get slugged.
Hey,
right?
now
I was trying to educate one of the MPs.
I know, I saw that. Right.
And Tim had to come over to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah, I remember.
We're pretty sophisticated now. I don't know if you noticed, but we have a foldable cart that we can, like a wheelbarrow.
Well, I'm not carrying a wheelbarrow with me if I'm going to the Big E because I
a look. No,
I gotta have room for my London broil sandwich.
But yeah, there's room for that. But we got sick of carrying all the gear around.
Yeah.
So we bought
I see that. It's nice. It's
a cart.
Is it radio remote control activated?
No.
Oh, you got to have one of those, man.
It would be awesome if it followed you.
It would be fun. Yeah.
I was working with JP at the Worthington Golf
How much money
course.
do you think I have in my budget?
I sent you a text message with the video of the Pittsfield Community Television TV truck they have.
Yeah, because they have all of the cable franchise money. Somebody way back when decided to pay the internet bill out of that budget.
Not me.
Yes, you.
So I was working at the Worthington Golf Club with JP, and we're setting up the stage for a concert, and we look out, and there's a guy walking, through the hall, and his golf bag following him.
Yeah, that's cool. Right?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that a few times. Yeah.
That's just somebody with too much money.
Yeah, first time we ever saw anything like that.
You know how I knew you guys were high tech? You have those nice hard plastic signs with Kathy Palmer's name on it.
I got connections for that.
I know you do. Right. Hey, anyways, so much fun to have at 7:17 in the morning. But I wanted to talk a little briefly about movies we might have seen this summer.
I haven't seen anything.
Well,
this
then
summer.
Ken puts a damper. I haven't been to the movie since 1988 when he went to see what was that? Children of the Corn or something?
One of the Freddy movies.
Nice.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was underage too.
Well, I kind of thought Ken might have taken up the national craze and gone to see Barbie, but he said he didn't.
I'd rather take some Tabasco to my eye than watch that movie.
Ken, come on now.
I want to see Oppenheimer.
I saw it, Pete.
Is it good? I heard it's long.
Go to the bathroom before you sit down.
Okay.
All right. But it is good. You know what? And you know what? It is long, but it doesn't even feel like it's that long. It's for a topic like that, that could be like fingernails scratching on a chalkboard, insanely long. No, it's very riveting. And what I would say,
that's good storytelling. Then.
It's a very good storytelling, and it's action packed. But what I would say is that the placement of excellent Hollywood actors is astonishingly done well. And what I would say,
the casting director should get an Oscar.
Yes, and what I would say particularly done well was the Matt Damon one and the Matthew. No, what's not
McConaughey?
No. Iron Man. What the hell is his name? Robert Downey Jr.
Is in that movie too?
He is, and he is a character, and I won't go into a lot of detail, but that his character was a very prominent individual in America in the 40s through the late 50s that completely escaped my historical purview. And, one of the things like you can do today is obviously you can use your phone while stuff's going on in real time, and you can look up like history on people. And I'm like, how did I miss this dude's like story, right? So he plays an exceptionally interesting character, real life backstory, and it's got an interesting Massachusetts connection. That's a pretty good one as well. And then the Matt Damon
Is it
character.
Dr. Robert Goddard?
No.
Okay.
No. He ends up being a political guy.
Because Goddard was a Massachusetts guy.
No. It's the Massachusetts connection is interestingly with a rookie senator named John F. Kennedy. But the other guy was the Matt Damon character, who was the general from the Army Corps of Engineering who was in charge of the whole Manhattan Project. But what I would say is that what the irony of it is like this human nature of like, so Oppenheimer is. Steve Donnelly would like it too because it flirts on the Communist Party activities in America at the time. So it weaves in all of this like political intrigue. It
was political intrigue
Absolutely.
at the time.
The Red Scare. This great what I'd call movement of patriotism to race to the finish, and and I didn't realize that there would literally had been so you talk about Soviet, leakage, Soviet spies within his camp from the very beginning, whatnot. But in general, though, is the human nature of, it would have been really nice to share everything and think everybody in the world would be having their kumbaya moment and say, oh, America, thanks for sharing all this technology because it is so bad. We will stop what we're doing right now, and we will never develop a bomb. And that's kind of like the insanity moment of Oppenheimer kind of thinks that. And he finally gets his meeting with Truman, and then Truman kind of lets into him like what human nature's really all about. And so I'll let you decide, who do you think ends up being right? People are more like what Truman thinks they are or what their Oppenheimer thinks they are. But in any event, fascinating story. I would highly encourage it. But the other good story I saw was, and again, I can't believe this one got by me, is Jersey Boys. I decided to watch that.
Oh, that's a great musical.
And I did not realize the great connection there with one of my favorite actors of all time is Joe Pesci. And one of the lead actors, lead singers for the guy that was pretty much responsible for the Four Seasons ends up in his later days, who he's friends with Joe Pesci, ended up working for Joe Pesci, Tommy DeVito, right? So crazy. And then speaking of DeVitos, I'm watching the TV show the other night, Tyrus. You know Tyrus from Fox News, the NWA heavyweight champion?
Yep. Did he win or?
Yeah, he did. He still got the belt, although he's got a big championship match coming up.
Well, EC3, yeah.
Right. So
they actually, he was on this, I happened to be in my car and whatever, and he and EC3 did a bit on the
that's correct.
Fox Sunday show.
Yes, they did, right? And I missed that, so I got to go back and find that. But on his show that day was a comedian that he had on his show that he's apparently friends with. Is a guy by the name of Joe DeVito, who was a friend of mine peripherally because he lived on the same floor as guys that I had lived with the year before in college. A comedian who from the New York area, and I'm like, that's Joe DeVito, the comedian. Holy cow! I remember that dude from college. Crazy, huh? Those connections.
By the way, getting back to something we talked about earlier in the show, I went to the Brixmor website, and according to them, Popeye's still going to take Pad A.
Really?
Out front there, where they took the fences down.
No kidding. Oh, speaking of breaking news, though, Oh
So-
my God. Are you kidding me?
What?
See where PetSmart is? Job lot.
They're taking over the old Staples.
yeah.
Staples is closing up in
Heard that.
October.
You know, sadly, I've used Staples more.
Where am I
this
going to
year.
bring my Amazon packages?
West Springfield.
West Springfield. But you know what? That's a terrible spot to get in and out of at West Springfield, though.
You know,
the parking sucks.
By the time you drive over to West Springfield, deal with that damn parking lot, and then get out of West Springfield. I'd much rather take the $7.95 hit to pay for a UPS label and have it picked up at my house.
I would do the same.
So
thing.
yeah, so
Yeah.
everybody that's talking about Staples on the interwebs,
Yeah.
that the PetSmart is going in there, and then Popeyes looks like they're going to build out
Yeah.
front. So now we go from one chicken joint to no chicken joints to one chicken joint to
Well,
no
thanks for
chicken
solving
joints.
that. But isn't PetSmart in the other plaza down the end of the street?
They must be moving then.
Yeah.
They probably wanted a bigger space. That's a big space.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I like I said, I've gone to Staples more this year than I have probably in the last 5 years combined.
Well, apparently they're not doing the business because they're pulling out.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, what are you going to do?
Retail is a poor model nowadays.
Yeah, it's
It
terrible.
is. That's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. I mean, I do know when Job Lot went in there, they were pretty PO'd. They're like, we would have never come to this plaza if we knew a Job Lot was going to show up there.
There it is.
Yeah. So.
And
whatever.
they have some empty spaces there too.
Yeah. True. Well, Aldi, great spot. Can you go to Aldi?
I love Aldi.
Yeah, Aldi's unbelievable.
I've been frequenting Aldi for almost 20 years.
My one knock with Aldi is simply this. I know one of your ways that you save a buck is to cut down on labor, but man, clean up the cashier stations, the self-service cashier places. It ain't a lot to ask to have somebody show up with some bacteria wipe.
I haven't had an issue.
Really? They're just gross, man, Yeah.
And you know, the Westfield Aldi is one of the only Aldis in the area that have that.
Well, really? Do they usually have cashiers?
That usually one cashier is on duty, and then...
Well, I'm talking about the self-service stations.
Yeah.
Right? The kiosks.
Yeah.
I just wipe them down. I go on Sunday mornings with my wife after church. I'm like, just wipe the damn things down once in a while. Man, they're gross.
The Westfield one?
Yeah.
See, I've never
Really?
come up to a gross kiosk over there. I tell you, though, I've gone into the West Side one more than once, and it was always in shambles.
First world problems.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Hey, can we talk a little bit about Babe Ruth? Well, you know what? It's 7:26.
You want to take a break and we'll
Let's
talk
take a
about it
break.
after the break?
Yeah, so you're listening to Dan Knappich in for our Wake Up Wednesday. What a shock it must be for people to wake up on Wednesday and have me, Kenny, and Pete on the radio.
They might think this is a repeat, and it's really not. We're actually live.
Or it might be a nightmare, they thought.
Okay.
I was hoping for some nice advice from Tina today about
That'll be next
about
week.
aging gracefully.
She's got her guests lined up for the next couple of weeks. And,
Here's your advice for aging gracefully. Whatever you see Kenny doing, don't do it.
Okay. All right. Actually, I turned on the TV this morning and I saw Kenny's face. I got frightened.
I'm sure I'll get the emails.
I easily frighten people. I get it.
All right, here we go.
Okay. See you later.
Well, I think
Underwriting support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business for the Greater Westfield communities. Informing, educating, advocating, the Chamber provides opportunities for members to make meaningful connections on local, regional, and state levels. For more information on the Chamber's many events, workshops, and programs, as well as the benefits of membership, visit westfieldbiz.org. The Chamber focuses on the most important economy, yours.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
It's closing. Good work, all. What is it?
It appears to be another energy surge.
Somehow, I don't think we zipped it.
Spock, what happened?
Unable to determine.
Incoming hail from the Cayuga.
When it rains, Spock, find a way to determine it. Ensign Uhura, put Captain Battelle through, please.
Captain, can we have a private conversation in a more discreet location about our canceled vacation? Apologies, I appear to be rhyming and singing.
Marie, I'm gonna call you back.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm not done yet. Chris, you always do this. You always run away.
Oh, sure I see. Lay all the blame on me when you're the one whose idea of fun is. What am I saying to you in front of my crew? This is a private conversation.
A private conversation.
About our frustration.
About our frustration.
This is a private conversation.
A private conversation.
About our frustration.
A private conversation.
We must contain it. We must restrain it. I don't want to hurt you, Marie. You mean more and more to me. But when you and I don't see eye to eye, a switch inside me flips and I'm compelled to hide.
Pete just stole 3 minutes away from you.
Pete, that's awful. What in the world? Did that actually
That
get
is
aired?
That
Yes.
happened.
Or was that blooper?
No. So the point of Kenny's not getting the point of this. He's just listening to the song. I'm watching what's going on. They're telling the story. Look at the facial reactions.
I'm not just listening to the song. I'm looking at them turning Star Trek into a musical. They should stick that in the They should stick that in the Kelvin timeline and keep it there where I will never see it again.
They did it once, and I thought it was one of the best episodes they've ever done.
What was that an episode of?
Strange New Worlds.
Oh,
that's Captain Pike.
Oh.
Yeah. To quote Bobby Goff,
oh boy,
he said, "If that's what people who want to watch Star Trek want to see, he'll become a bigger fan of Star Wars."
No, I thought it was fun as a one-off episode.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't hit the fast forward button enough during the
But
thing.
why? Because you're not watching the acting going on. Is the stories being told that are not part of the singing are the best part of that episode because you're watching the crew and their reactions to what's going on.
If I wanted to watch a musical, I'd put Xanadu on.
That's not a musical. That's horrible.
Pete, I just can't.
Coming from all these years of Mark Auerbach and me learning about the arts.
You're just a traditionalist. Look what you've done to that perfectly good sci-fi series.
No, I think there's room for everything because a perfectly good sci-fi series, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, did it decades ago.
Oh my God. Well, we are listening to Wake Up Wednesday, and
We're all over the place.
I'm not sure how we got into that, but we do need.
I did it to bust Kenny.
Yeah, but it's Danny's show, and at this point you've stolen 5 minutes.
Yeah,
he has nothing prepared as usual, so I'm. Helping.
No, that's not true. I did some show prep between segments here, and I got some. I got some great senior facts here. You guys ready for this?
Okay.
Okay. Did you know that only 3.6% of people over 65 reside in nursing homes? So you know what that means? Make your humble abode a place where you want to spend some time. And I know Ken's been working on that. Elderly men are likely to live with a spouse, while elderly women are more likely to live alone. Not surprising. 4 in 5 older adults will battle at least one chronic condition or illness, such as heart disorders, arthritis, or osteoporosis, and 50% will battle at least 2. And then here's one, and I still struggle with this, and I'm not in this age category. I know, though I might look at it like that. But by age 75, about 1 in 3 men and 1 in 2 women don't get any physical activity. So this is for Tina because she's always harping on this.
That is contributing to Alzheimer's.
You got to keep moving. You can keep seniors fit by hosting a dance class at your local senior center.
And our senior center is very good about keeping their seniors moving if you want to.
I know my mother was during COVID and stuff. She missed her the fitness class, like they was the chairs.
We had them on Channel 15.
I know, but it's not the same. There's a social aspect.
Of course there is, yeah.
You know?
You said that the women tend to be alone.
Yeah, 1 in 2.
Well,
yeah.
What if they have a bunch of cats?
Oh,
stop it!
Oh boy. Okay, you know what? Hold that thought. Okay.
By the way, Fred Gore checking in this morning.
Oh, hi, Fred.
Tell Ken the Staples in Enfield is very helpful, and it's right over the Enfield Bridge, better than West Side.
That's too far away.
Yeah. I'll pay the $7.95 for a UPS label.
Yeah. All right, I'm just passing along. The audience is chiming in.
I paid more than $4 for a gallon of gasoline this weekend, so don't tell me about going to Enfield.
Oh, you're on the Cape, though.
It doesn't matter. I'm still in Massachusetts, the Commonwealth of
People's Republic.
Stop. While fatal crash rates increase starting at age 75 for older drivers, crash rates have fallen faster. Oh, my God. Did you hear this? You guys, I want you all listening right now. While fatal crash rates increase starting at age 75, older driver crash rates have fallen faster than crash rates of middle-aged drivers. One of the reasons is that older drivers tend to limit their driving during bad weathers or at night.
That's true.
It's true.
Plus, they don't know how to use a cell phone.
True.
That's even truer.
True. All right, let's get to the one that y'all want to know about.
Yeah, what's going on with the Babe Ruth?
Because no, hold on. This is a senior fact.
haven't been to...
Hold on.
All right,
We're like literally like countdown days to my birthday here, so this is an important one.
Okay.
According to the data compiled by the Social Security Administration, a man reaching age 65 today, and by the way, for the record, I will not be turning 65 this year, can expect to live on average until age, guess, how long, if you turn 65 this year, how long will the average age be for male this year?
73.
No. That's crazy, though. You got a guess?
Am I close?
No guess.
84.3.
Wow.
So a man reaching age 65 today can, on average, plan on living to be 84.3. A woman turning age 65 today can expect to live 86.6.
Wow.
That's crazy, huh? Well, so
You
all that
got to do something about them outliving us.
Well, I don't think
modern medicine.
Yeah.
Why are you being so?
Well, you know why they outlive us? Because they don't do stupid things.
That's a big part of it, I'm sure.
That's also probably true.
Yeah.
They're the smart ones in the relationships.
Yeah. Plus, they're more social, and being connected socially is better for your health. Ken. Okay, so why don't you have a pool party? Invite your closest neighbors. Okay.
Only at night, and it'll be All right. Not going to go there.
So that officially ends the Tina Gorman portion of her show that we're doing for her. So when Tina comes back to regular programming time, just, Pete, please remind her that we tried and we did our best to put in Tina tidbits into her show.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, I got you.
So, Tina, I'm officially shutting down my iPad. We're done with your type of show.
Good. Now I can ask you something important.
Ask me. Go ahead.
All right.
Fire away.
All right. If nothing sticks to Teflon, how do they stick Teflon on the pan?
You got me.
It's a question. I don't have the answer.
No, it's a conundrum, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there's a bonding agent? I don't know.
I don't know.
Does it have to dry?
Ken, really? I haven't even finished my cup of coffee and you hit me with that? You know what? I bet you Oppenheimer would know the answer to that, though. I guarantee you that. Hey, so Babe Ruth, so let me tell you a story. So I had a great time with the Babe Ruth thing, right? So I did my
14s or 13s?
I did 15s.
15s.
So I did my service to the Babe Ruth League. I did 3 years coaching, right? Had a great time. And my youngest son finally aged out. So they asked me to do a 15-year-old All-Star team, and I recruited a fine City Hall employee, Matt Barnes, our treasure collector.
Kidding.
Yeah, so he and I tag team that. We also tag team the American Legion team. And
how far did you guys get with Babe Ruth?
So that's a good question. So we went and did the state tournament, right? Because our nemesis, in order to go anywhere in Babe Ruth world, you have to get through Pittsfield. So we go up to Pittsfield on our first game, and because like half our team was playing in our American Legion team, we knew a lot of the kids. We carried 11 kids, I believe, for that game. And that's all that we had for 15-year-olds. We had a very anemic.
That's a pretty good, robust team for the 15s.
Well, it is, right? 15's a tough age bracket, right? So we go up there, and we threw our best pitcher. They threw their best pitcher, who's like a national prospect, and we get tattooed 21-0 on a no-hitter.
Ouch.
I mean, it was bad, right? It was like one of those – we have a – because I've known all the kids on the team for a long time, and I'm like, as individual players – they're pretty good, they're not bad, but they just they were bad. They stunk up the place, right?
Well, did it end with the mercy ruling? Or?
Yeah, we ended up doing a 5-inning game, right? But it got so out of hand. It was like one of those you hated to send the kids out there because it was just like everything that we threw, they hit and they hit it hard, So then the next night we played back in Westfield at Bullen's, right? So I gave them the the best impassioned speech I could. And I'm not a yeller, so I don't yell at kids, when they make bad plays. They know. Every kid knows. I get upset with coaches that do stuff like that because the kids are they're
harder on themselves.
They're exactly correct, right? And I don't think today's kids really respond to that. And so we gave him I gave him a good speech, and I said, not for nothing, but we went up, we stunk it up. There's no question. And you're better than that. We're a better team. Let's go out and show Pittsfield how we know how to play baseball down here at Bullen's Field. And we went out and we turned that around and we played a much better game and we lost 4-0, right? But it was like, man, you would not even recognize our team because we were in the game for the whole game and we only ended up at the end giving up a couple markers to get it up to 4-0. But all in all, a much more improved outcome. Now, that all being said, because Pittsfield was hosting the regional tournament, we ended up having an automatic bye to get in, right? So right off the bat, low bar of expectations for the Westfield team, right? By everybody else, because we're like they're the ugly child. They get to go in just because they live here, right? So, anyways, the next weekend we were supposed to go down to Connecticut, play a tournament, kind of a tune-up tournament, gets rained out. So we don't have another chance. We literally show up at the regional tournament with 2 practices under our belts. Now, as you know, because you've been around baseball a long time, some of these teams have been together and they make a commitment. And they've been together for like 65 games, practicing.
Yeah, sure.
Even the Pittsfield coaches, we've known those guys for a number of years. They've been at 2-a-day practices for weeks going into this thing. That team was the same team as 13-year-olds that came down to Westfield. That almost actually that team, they didn't get to the Babe Ruth World Series. The team from Connecticut did. It was the same team that ended up beating them up in the regionals this year. So anyways, so we come in like everybody earned their way, but not Westfield, right? So the funniest thing is bad storms are predicted. This is a Friday a couple weeks back. So they move everybody's game time up. We were supposed to be at noontime at Wacona. We're up at 10 o'clock for a start game, right? So our kids are loose. We have no expectations of great performance. Westfield hadn't had really great success at a regional in a while. And so who shows up? I see the congressman. Congressman Neal's up there. I'm like, wow, I wonder what's going on, right?
Really?
Yeah, so I wander over, and he's looking at me. He's like, wow. He goes, look at you. And I go, yeah, look at you being up here in Pittsfield.
Coach Dan with full regalia.
Yeah, so he's with the state rep, the senator, Mayor Tyre, who I knew from my time in office. She came in right after when I left. When I was in state office I met her in that program. So we were chatting a little bit, and then with all the locals. Well, what was going on there was they were going to do a photo op with Team Pittsfield. and Congressman Neal was dropping off a $3 million check for the rehab of Wacona Park, right?
Jeez, wouldn't it have been great if we could have done that when we were doing
Well,
bonds?
that's a kind of interesting to that point, right? And I'm thinking about that. I'm like, geez, we didn't even think about whacking a congressman years ago for that, right? So anyways, they're all, I could tell that, the way the conversation's going, they're all kind of struggling for a photo op. And right in front of the mayor of Pittsfield, I said, hey, Congressman, I said, not for nothing, but let's not let a good photo opportunity go wasted here today. I said, you've got the greatest field from your district here right now. I got my beautiful looking team all set to go. Let's take a photo for today with the Westfield team right there. And so sure enough, boom, we take the photograph. They're on there, right? And then like in the Berkshire Eagle the next day, there's photographs of the congressman and you could see the Westfield team and all that. That's not even the best part of it. So we go out, he gets some FaceTime with our players and all that stuff. And I could see like the Pittsfield contingent like, I can't believe that. That guy.
Are they starting to boil?
Yeah, that guy just took that. So he just took our photo op. In the meantime, Pittsfield, the team is playing at Deming Park across town, and it's like, I totally got this opportunity, right? So the congressman's all yucking it up with our players. Got a great photo op in the dugout with him and all our players, right? Anyways, but he must have given us good luck because we go out. I give him the speech. I said, hey, look, not for nothing, kids, but. There's not a lot of high expectations for this team today. I said everybody is like on us about, we were, we invite only because, we were the Massachusetts Western Mass District representative. Pittsfield's here. They're the legit Western Mass champions. We only get an invite because we're in their district. Let's go show them how we know how to play baseball. So we go out. And I said, most importantly, when you play, do not make stupid mistakes, get picked off and, make errors and fun. We go out. Our shortstop had the worst inning a kid could have. 3 consecutive balls hit to him, 3 boots. Boom, boom, boom.
Oof.
I'm like, holy cow. He comes in off the field. We're down like, I think 3-0 already. And I looked at him. I said, hey, would you mind going to second base for the next inning? He looks at me and goes, Coach, I think that's a great idea. Right? So we sit him down. We go back out. Go back. They get in. Like every ball they hit, they tattooed top of the order. Like everything we threw, we couldn't get a strike. We're down. It's 5-0, second inning. So we're the home team. So, Barnes looks at it and goes, guys, let's just do this one run at a time. Let's go out. So we start chipping away. Well, we finally get our way back into it, and it's the 7th inning, and it's tied. We both go up 0-0, goes to extra innings, right? And I'm like, guys, this is it, right? You worked your way back into this game. This is a team from New Hampshire, the New Hampshire State Champions. I said, nobody thought we'd get here, so let's go out and show them we can win this game, right? So they go out, bottom of the 8th inning, load the bases, and our best hitter comes up to the plate, and he flares a ball to center field, walk-off win. Whew, holy cow, right? But the best thing about that was, I think that was a 7-6 win. So our run differential is great right out of the bat, right? So the next day we come out, and we're playing the team from Maine, Capital City, Augusta, Capital District, Maine. And, they had a good win the day before. They figured they'd roll right over us. And we literally, second inning, it's I think they scored one run at the top. We load the bases, and I knew we're not a big run-scoring team. We don't have a big bopper. We're not going to get a big hit on, so we're going to just chip away. We load the bases. We got 2 outs, and I got a lefty pitcher up against a lefty batter, and I'm like, I'm going to just go with the statistics and just, I got to pinch hit him with a righty batter on the bench. So I pull him, and, of course, what happens? The kid strikes out. I'm like, oh, God, it stinks, But I knew it. That was probably going to be our only and best chance to get some runs. And sure enough, it was. We ended up losing that game 1-0. So now we're 1-1 in the pool play, but our run differential is just 2 runs. And I look at the stats for that night. We're in second place. I'm like, holy cow, out of 4 teams in that bracket.
Oh, because of the run differential?
Because of the run differential, yeah. And I'm like, hey, holy cow, we actually might advance, Wouldn't that be something? Here's a team of by this time we picked up 4 14-year-olds too from they got knocked out of the state tournament early, so we were able to pick up 4 of them, which was great because I needed pitchers, and so we picked up 2 extra pitchers from them, or 3 extra pitchers. So anyways, we go into the 3rd game, and it's against a team from state champions from Rhode Island, and same thing. We get behind early, never really were in the game, but it's a close one, 4-1. We lose. But so we're 1-3 in pool play, but the run differential is 6 runs, And I'm like, barring like unforeseen tragedy, we're into the next round. So we are literally 3 wins away from the World Series, right? And I'm like, who would have thought? Who would have seen that coming from a 21-0 no-hit game in Pittsfield? We go into the regional tournament, and our run differential, we go 1-3, and our run differential is like 6 runs. I mean, what a turnaround, you know? So I'm like, kids, you've done great. So, you know, let's go out and you know, the next night, this is on Monday now for that. That's like in the knockout tournament grouping. Let's go out and you know, nobody expects us to be here. Maybe we're an underdog and we can take an easy win. Now, the problem with that is because you're automatically in the loser bracket at that point, you got to win 2 games against the champion if the champion advances, because the number 1 seeds in both brackets have a bye that first round, right? So
right,
yeah. So who draws our number? Friggin' Pittsfield. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? So all I was thinking about is the you know, the photo op with the congressman and all that stuff. Anyways, we go out and we just kind of ran out of gas, and we held Pittsfield close. It was 0-0 till like the 5th inning, and then they got I think 4 runs, and then another 5 runs, and then it ended up being 9-0. But we held them to, you know, we went to a 7-inning game. And then Pittsfield makes it to the championship game, but they had to win twice within, you know, that same day. And that's a tall tale. And they ran up against the pitcher from Rhode Island, from Norwalk, Connecticut, big kid. He didn't know. I don't know if he hit him, but it was 2-0 anyways. And Norwalk advances to the World Series. But what a great story! What a great run! So I'm like, you know, hey kids, you guys way outperformed. You know, first team in a long time from Westfield to legitimately advance to a regional. 2nd round and all that stuff. And I said, you made some noise. You did better than anybody thought you could. So I am absolutely like, you know, you guys did great. So I'm in the office the other day when we the company I work for, we leased some property from Amtrak. And I'm having trouble getting a hold of Amtrak people. So I call the congressman's office. And I did know that his staff took a bunch of other photographs of our team with the congressman. So I was talking to his aide. I'm like, hey, can you send over some pictures with the congressman from our team? You know, some of the kids' parents have been asking about it. He goes, yeah, sure. He goes, but did you check out our webpage? I go, no, I haven't checked that out. He goes, oh, man, you got to check it out. You guys are like front page on the congressman's webpage. Sure enough, man, while I'm on the phone, I go, Congressman Neal for, you know, Congress, right? Plug it in, and there we are in the dugout. It's that photograph. It's like, you know, Congressman Neal delivers $3 million for historic Wacona Park, and then there's Team Westfield with the congressman.
Which win is better now?
Yeah, right, which is better now? And I'm like, oh, that picture is so sweet. So I took a screenshot of it, snapped it, and sent it to Annalise. I said, this should be in a program booklet for Westfield Bay.
Yeah, right. I just got a message from Tina. Since you covered the importance of exercise among seniors, please remind viewers that we have chair yoga and totally fun fitness class with Carol Palmer sign-ups curbside this morning from 8:45 to 9:15. And she thanks all 3 of us for covering for her.
Tina, it's wonderful to cover for you, and congratulations for being a grandmama.
And Tina, I want to let you know that Cindy is all set and ready to go to welcome some of the Westfield Channel 15 programming onto the Southwick Channel 15 programming. So, yeah, we're gonna make some moves.
How's that gonna happen? What's that all about? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
we're gonna share some exercise stuff.
Yeah,
we're gonna start shooting new exercise programs over there.
So you telling me like Kenny's gonna be in charge of doing like Jane Fonda workout videos?
No.
What?
We're gonna.
I'm actually going in wearing a leotard and doing.
Oh
no! God help us. God help us.
Some leg warmers.
Oh, that's not a good look, Ken.
Yeah,
honestly.
No. But
what are you doing? Explain to us.
We video exercise programs at the senior center, and we run them on Channel 15 for those who can't make it down to the center.
I got you.
So I'm going to share that programming in Southwick
right.
for the seniors to do the same thing down there.
Wonderful idea, Ken.
We're going to start getting new episodes of people that do classes now over with the Zoom cameras we have.
Oh, that's great.
We're going to do classes because we did one with Carol Palmer and it was quite successful actually.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
and with the seniors of Westfield State's movement science program.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing, they did a Get Fit toolkit as their senior project.
Wow.
For movement science. So we're going to continue to expand that this year because people want new episodes. Darn it.
You know what I want? This is what
I've been running the same Zumba stuff since the pandemic.
Listen,
I know.
This is what would make a really good TV/radio show bit. So on Mass Appeal, you got Pat Barry, right?
I tried to get him to call in, but I don't think he was awake.
Well, he does like some of these fitness things, and it's the funniest thing because that dude's like 6.
Oh, the yoga stuff at the end of the
That's
program.
only like a couple minutes.
No, but he's
not
so,
an hour.
But he's so tall, and he's
Compared
thin
to
anyway.
Kayla Heavey.
Right.
Yeah,
You
who
know?
was like that tall.
So here's what I'd like. I'd like Pat to lead the three of us in some sort of fitness segment just once, okay? Because
Oh,
I
God.
want to see Kenny in his leggings.
You don't want to see me in anything
No.
that's form fitting.
No.
Good Lord.
I think it would be a wildly popular YouTube download. We could all be like,
It'll go viral, but for all the wrong reasons.
well, we could become influencers. Yeah.
So waiting in the wings is Southwick select person Jason Perrone.
Oh,
So you
Jason.
guys are going to wrap it up in a couple minutes here.
And I believe isn't Jason a Westfield police officer as well?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, come on board, Jason.
Well, no, he's going to do his own show.
Oh, he's
Everything's-
gonna. Oh, I
everything's
thought he was on the
Southwick
phone.
No, he's right behind me.
He's the guy in the blue shirt that you
Jason,
saw.
I thought I saw somebody out there.
The guy that's dancing outside of the
Hey. Yeah, congratulations on a. Your election was, I think, last year, maybe. wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
right,
last year.
right.
Yep.
Wonderful. Somebody stepped forward and run for elected office. That's great.
Yep.
You know what? When we avoided that
Yeah,
whole topic today.
he took out Joe Didi.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh,
Yeah.
my! I am so out of the loop.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You spend too much time in Logerville.
I do. Well, if it didn't make it inside the news oracle, that's also known as the Slovak Hall.
That's what I'm saying. If it doesn't make it into the Slovak Hall, you don't know what's going on.
Probably didn't happen in my world, is what I would tell you. Oh God, so much fun. How could
Yeah.
Oh, so anyways, that was my Babe Ruth summer. So I think my Babe Ruth career is now finally over. Although I am still on the executive board.
I need to talk to you about
Yeah.
next summer.
Yes, I could.
You want to call some softball?
I would love to do that. I think next year, because I also I made some commitments on the baseball front that will decline my level of commitment on baseball all around. So I have many more weekends to give. And
I only need you for 1 week.
That's fine.
I'm trying
Okay.
to attract Mike Drew for the other week.
All right, yeah.
Because this week I only had an announcer for 1 week.
All
Mike Jim Rivers, who
Okay.
is in the
No, we could definitely
Babe
do that.
Ruth New
Yeah.
England Hall of Fame.
Wow, how about that? Well, that's something to live up to. I will tell you this.
He's also in the National Babe Ruth Hall of Fame, I think.
Well, Pittsfield's announcer crew, they did a fabulous job. They have I'm not sure. I mean, I put their link to their community television on there that
PCTV.
broadcast, all the games. But they did a very nice job broadcasting the games.
It's tough finding people that want to do that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And they have a crew of dedicated people that want to do it, and it's
Yeah.
tough for me to find people. It's even tough to attract students to stay after school to do stuff
know,
like that.
I hear you. I will say that the host committee up in Pittsfield, some of the guys I know from my time in Babe Ruth and whatnot, they got a new they hadn't held a regional in a while. They had gotten a new appreciation for the level of effort. They go, we just want to, after we've been doing, gotten the tournament underway, we want to thank all you folks in Westfield for all you've done for us regionally. We now have a good dose of how hard it is. They're excited about the revamp of Wacona Park because they want to be able to help take some of the burden from Westfield a little bit off of that and be, kind of bookended tournament opportunities. Yeah, and they're like, you guys have done such a fantastic job for us, and we've kind of taken it for granted, come down and play the games, and now that we've, gotten that kind of in our DNA, you've been so helpful and all that, and so it's, we've had some really interesting rivalries with them. But I am amazed. We played them in American Legion, both at the junior and senior level.
They have a good program.
They
up
have
there.
an exceptionally good baseball turnout. And, we know the coaches really well. We have a good relationship with them. But I am amazed at how good their athletes are. I mean, their Legion team was like lights out. And we went up there and got beat them. They were close games, definitely close games. And they could have gone either way. But very, very sound baseball tradition up there. So I'm happy. I had last gone to a game. It was like a Mets minor league game back in the early 1990s. So I'm happy to see the park.
Up there, they've also hosted a softball World Series, too.
Oh, did they? Yeah. I didn't realize Wacona Park had gone into that level of decline. I mean, it was very sad that the grandstand was condemned and everything. I'm like, wow. But to see it come back alive will be beautiful. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, Pete.
All right.
Kenny, it's been a pleasure.
We out.
Signing off for Weekends on Wednesday. No longer with me anymore.
Weekends on Wednesday?
No, Weekends on Wake Up Wednesday.
Wake Up Wednesday.
I'm still slow today.
It used to be mornings with Mayor Dan.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Hey, guys, thanks for calling me out of retirement. Appreciate it. We'll see you.
Bomba-dee-da, 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 bomba-dee-da,
Until
bomba-dee-da,
we meet
bomba-dee-da,
again.
bomba-dee-da,
Happy trails to you.
Bomba-dee-da,
Keep smiling until then.
Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think about sunny weather.
Happy trails to you. Till we meet again.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Join us every Thursday morning
From 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show.
Right here on WSKB 89.5.
Community Radio. 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
You know I'm a dreamer, but my heart's of gold. I had to run away high, so I wouldn't come home low. Just wait.